Party llama is the party. Party llama brings the party. Party llama dramatically enhances the party. Please do not use party llama if you are allergic to the following: having a good time, increased heart rate, not being a total lame-wad, enjoying your life to the fullest, parasailing from the back of a yacht. Please consult a doctor if you do not develop a cool attitude. Use as directed.
Awkward.
Baby shark. A baby shark. Ooh. Awkward.
Awkward.
Awkward. Awkward.
Oh, guys, this is gonna be awkward. Hey everybody, welcome back to week 3 of our Awkward series. We're so glad that you are here, and a special shout out to the students who are new here tonight. Now, if you are checking this video out on YouTube and you are not part of our youth group, send me an email. Get yourself on the email list so that you can join in the fun every week with us. Let's start tonight by praying. Thank you, God, for bringing these amazing students here tonight. I know how much you love them, and I pray that they would know that too. God, please give us all open ears and open hearts tonight as we learn about your plan for relationships and sex in our lives. Amen. Okay, so we have spent the last 2 weeks talking about how all those feelings that you're feeling are normal and they are from God. And then we learned how just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. And now we're going to kind of shift away from ourselves and we're going to talk about respecting others, because just like you, they matter to God and they have boundaries too. So let's go to worship now with Hannah and Cody, and then we're going to play a game, and then we're going to do the video, and then we're going to do small groups. Got all that? Good. See you soon.
Hi everyone, welcome to another week of youth. We are super excited to worship with you again tonight. This is a new face. This is my brother Cody. He's going to be joining us on drums today, so get excited.
So I was reading the dictionary the other day, and what? You don't read the dictionary? Oh, okay, well, I was reading the dictionary the other day, and I came across some of the weirdest, funniest words that I thought I want to share with you. And I thought, you know what would be great? We'll do a game. So I made a game out of these funny words that I found. I'm going to tell you the word, and you see if you can guess what it means. And then I'm going to give you the answer. And then you have to try to start using them in your regular language. Okay, here we go. Word number 1. Bibble. What does bibble mean? Bibble. It's the sound of people eating and drinking loudly in a restaurant. Oh, I'm sorry. Could you speak up? I can't hear you over all this bibble in here. Number 2, lollygag. Lollygag. This one you might know. Kind of sounds like a lollipop. Lollygag. Well, what is it? It means to waste or spend your time with no point, kind of like lollygagging around. Maybe you've heard your parents say it to you before.
Pamela, would you get your snowsuit on? Stop lollygagging around.
Number 3, bumbershoot. Bumbershoot, what does that mean? I'm gonna give you some time. Bumbershoot, throw out some ideas. What do you think it could be? Okay, I'll give you a hint. Mary Poppins used one of these. Did you get it? It's an umbrella or a parachute. So you might say, Mary Poppins is floating down with her bumbershoot. Number 4, collywobbles. For real, that's a word. Collywobbles. What does that mean? I'll give you a hint. Did you get it? It means a tummy ache or a weird feeling in your stomach. I don't feel so good. I got the collywobbles. Number 5, flibberty-gibbet. This might be my favorite one. Flibberty-gibbet. What does that mean? Flibberty-gibbet. Now, I know what this means because it was in one of my favorite movies, Alice in Wonderland. Flibberty-gibbet. And it's fun to say. Try it. Flibberty-gibbet. Flibberty-gibbet is someone who is silly or talks a lot. You might describe me as flibberty-gibbet. Number 6, nudistortion. Okay, this might just sound like a scientific word, but I promise you, you can use this. I promise you. Nudistortion. I actually had to look up how to say it because I wasn't sure. Nudistortion. So you know when you're trying to describe not yesterday, but the day before? Right. That's this word. Nudistortion means the day before yesterday. I know what you're thinking. How am I supposed to use this in a sentence, Pam? How can the weekend be over already? I mean, school just ended. Nudistortion. Number 7, smell fungus. Smell fungus. You're gonna like this one because you can use it maybe on your siblings. Smell fungus. Smell fungus is someone who finds something wrong with everybody. Everything, I mean. So everything you do that day, they complain about it. You go to the museum, it costs too much. You go to the swimming pool, the water was too cold. You went to school that day, my best friend wasn't there. You tried to have some dinner together with your family, mom put cheese on it. Smell fungus. So my teenage sister complains about everything. She's such a smell fungus. The last one, number 8. Number 8 is doozy. Some of you parents might know this one. Doozy. I have to admit, I use this word all the time. It was a doozy. What does it mean? Well, it means that something's outstanding and not normal. It was a doozy. So maybe after getting off a roller coaster, you might say, whoa, that was a doozy.
Whoa! Awkward. What a cringy word, right? Nobody. including myself, likes to feel awkward. And we don't enjoy finding ourselves in those cringy, uncomfortable, and embarrassing moments. But we also know that those moments are just a part of life. And all of a sudden, your parents are asking you questions that are awkwardly personal. Teachers are telling you to stop talking to your crush in front of the entire class. And then you decide to come to church only to find out that we're going to talk about sex. Yeah, I know. Talking about sex at church can definitely be awkward, but honestly, it's just too important to ignore. That's why today, no matter how awkward it might get, we're gonna continue a conversation we've been having about why our sexual desires matter, not just to us, but also to God. And speaking of things that matter a lot, let me share something with you that mattered to me more than anything when I was in elementary school. I don't know if you've ever heard of these little teddy bears, but they were called Beanie Babies. And everybody would collect them, all of my friends. And the whole idea was the more Beanie Babies that you could have, the more money that they might be worth later on. So they meant a lot to me, okay? We all value different things, right? But I think there's one thing that's true for all of us when it comes to value. We tend to value things because of what they give back to us. Maybe it's a new pair of shoes that keeps us looking cool, or a new camera to make our YouTube videos look even more polished. Sure, those aren't the only reasons that we value those things, but they certainly don't hurt. But when those things stop giving us what we want, just like that, we stop giving them the same value. We begin to treat them as if they matter less than they used to. So remember my Beanie Babies, my most prized possession in elementary school? It just doesn't hold the same value to me anymore that it once did. I don't even think it's worth a lot of money anymore. Think about it. I want you to think of something that mattered a lot to you when you were in elementary school. That thing probably mattered a ton to you as an elementary schooler. But now, maybe it just doesn't bring the same value to your life anymore. When this happens with stuff, it's really not that big of a deal. When you stop caring about your old stuffed animals or your baseball collection or that jacket you loved so much before, that's just a part of growing up. But there's another side to this whole value thing, the human side. Sometimes without realizing it, we treat the people in our lives the same way. When they can do something for us or give something back to us, we consider them valuable or important. But when they don't, well, that's when we begin to treat them like they've lost their importance. That's when we start treating people in ways that are less than they deserve. We start saying things about them, thinking things about them, or treating them as though they aren't all that special or important after all. Now, I know we might not all be doing this, or some of us might be doing this without even realizing it, but it's important to talk about it because it's a big deal, especially when it comes to things like sex and dating. Some of you might not even be interested in dating right now. Or maybe you're not even allowed to date yet. Still, I want you to stick with me because this stuff is important not just for today, but for the rest of your life. The way we treat people we're interested in or spending time with, it matters. The way we value them with our words, our actions, and even our thoughts is important. We might be tempted to talk about the people that we're attracted to in ways that aren't valuing to them. We may say things about their bodies and about their personalities that aren't all that respectful. Or we might even think about them in ways that don't value them. They're the kind of thoughts that we wouldn't want them, or really anyone, to know about. Maybe we even ask the person we're talking with to send pictures or participate in behaviors that we know don't show them value that they deserve. We might treat the person we're attracted to in a way that makes us feel good, even if we know it's hurtful or harmful to them. We flirt with them, we tease them, we talk to them in a way that doesn't benefit anybody but us. Maybe we send photos or we say inappropriate things or lead someone on because it makes us feel good. Or maybe we even pressure them into doing something physical that they don't want to do. But at the end of the day, we really don't care about how it makes the other person feel. But no matter how it happens, the truth is this: when we don't treat others like they have value, we wind up treating them like objects instead of people. Objects that might have meant a lot to us when we first started catching feelings or first started talking. Objects that now just don't seem to have the same value unless they're doing something we want them to do. Instead of seeing someone as who they are on the inside first, we might begin to see them simply as a body or a personality meant to give us whatever we want. And the fact that they have their own desires, their own thoughts, emotions, and hearts, well, maybe we just don't seem to notice or care. But here's what's important though. Every one of us wants to be valued. I guess that deep down, all of us want to be seen as someone worthy of respect, someone who is valued for who they are, not what they can give to someone else. But if this is what we want for ourselves, shouldn't it be what we want for others? How do we start changing the way that we treat people so that we're not only giving them value, but receiving it for ourselves as well? I think it's important to take a few minutes and make sure we know what God has to say about all of this. First, we should know that God made each of us, and because of that, we are valuable. We have value simply because we are made by God. And beyond that, other people have value because they are also made by God. That right there, that's the foundation for how we treat other people and ourselves. If we believe that we all have value simply because God made us and told us so, that's great. That's the starting place. But even Jesus didn't stop there. See, believing those two ideas is important, but the way that we treat other people because these ideas are true may be even more important. Thankfully, Jesus gave us a clear picture of how to treat people like they have value. So, about 2,000 years ago, Jesus was having a conversation with some really smart people. And these were religious leaders and they were lawyers who had started to really dislike Jesus. They thought they were in charge of the ancient Jewish people, that the people were supposed to listen to them, follow their rules, and obey God's laws like they did. But then, Jesus came along and started teaching the way to really follow the laws that God had given to his people. Jesus obeyed all of God's laws, but he did so in a way that was full of love. And those religious leaders, they didn't like it. In fact, they would often confront Jesus and try to get him to say something they knew would go against God, just to prove that he wasn't worth trusting. In the encounter we're gonna look at today, a group of religious leaders had approached Jesus to debate, question, and try to catch him to say the wrong thing. Finally, one of them spoke up and said, basically, "Okay, Jesus, what's the most important commandment that God has for all of us? What's the most important thing to him out of everything?" And to answer, Jesus said something they didn't expect. Something I think can help change the way we treat everyone. "And you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. The second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself. No other commandment is greater than these." Jesus gave an incredible answer here. And it's an answer he gave because I think he wanted it to be clear about what mattered most to God. To love God with all that we are and to treat other people the way that we want to be treated. See, when Jesus used the word neighbor, he wasn't just talking about our literal next door neighbor. He was actually referring to every other person around us. We share this planet with about 8 billion other people. And God wants us to know that he cares deeply about the way we treat every single one of them. In other words, God cares about the way we value other people. If we want to follow God's greatest command, we have to start with value, not just for ourselves, but with others too. And this applies to sex and sexual desires. We have to start caring and practicing sexual integrity. Remember, sexual integrity is choosing to respond to sexual things we feel, think, and desire in a way that respects ourselves, others, and God. So, we have to choose to love and respect ourselves first. Maybe that means saying no when we're asked to do something that we don't feel comfortable with, or deciding not to watch that movie or look at that picture we know is inappropriate. Whatever that looks like for each of us, we have to start treating ourselves like we have the value God says we do. And then we can do the same for others. We can stop using language that doesn't respect the other person. We can stop pressuring them into behaviors they aren't comfortable with. We can stop talking about them in a way that doesn't value them when they're not around. And we can treat other people with value because we know it's important to God. And if we want to honor him or treat him with the respect that he deserves, we should live like this matters, because how you treat others and yourself matters to God. So, what does this look like once we're back at school, or joking with our friends, or running around at practice, or alone with our crush? when we're tempted to make jokes or participate in behaviors or treat someone else in a certain way just to get what we want in return. Well, the next time we find ourselves in that position, we can ask ourselves a couple of questions. First, what would it look like for me to treat this person in a way that honors God? Maybe instead of joking about their body, you should be the person who speaks up to stop it. Or instead of allowing your mind to wander in directions that aren't honoring another person, you should remember that God made them to be loved, not used. Or instead of flirting just to make yourself feel good, you should take the time to think about what the other person is feeling and make sure they know that their thoughts and feelings really matter to you. Or maybe it's choosing to stop crossing boundaries because you know they aren't best for you or the other person. Whatever it might be for you, don't go another week without working to treat people in the way that honors God. Second, do I believe that I have value to God, others, and myself? Now, for some of us, before we can treat others like they have value, we have to first believe that we deserve to be treated well ourselves. See, if you don't respect yourself and your body, it's gonna be hard to value others or to know what it means to be valued by others. So if you aren't sure that you would confidently say yes to every part of this question, I wanna challenge you to tell someone that. Tell your group leader, a parent, or another trusted adult that you need help discovering some of your own God-given value. This might be the most important step you make to begin living a life where you know you have value and can treat others like they have value too. Now, let me close by speaking to some of you who may be struggling with this. You may feel like you don't have value because of the way someone else has treated you. You've had boundaries crossed and things that happened to you that you didn't ask for or approve of. Maybe you've been hurt or abused or worse. And because of that, you're struggling to see how anyone could value you. Maybe you're even struggling to value yourself. If that's you, please know this. You have value. And what happened to you doesn't take that away. Your group leader would be a great person to start a conversation with about this very thing this week. They love you, they value you, and they want you to find the help that you need. Remember, how you treat others and yourself matters to God. When we learn to love, value, and respect ourselves, we'll do the same for others. And your group is a great place to start practicing this. As we move towards group today, I want you to think about the way that you can value other people in your group by listening to them, encouraging them, and keeping your circle a safe space for everyone to share and grow when it comes to things like valuing other people.